All right. Getting this thing fired up here, everybody. God, it's been a busy week. It's been a busy week for me, without a doubt. Sorry about that, clearing my throat. I know I'm getting started here a few minutes late. Trying to get caught up on some of the information. What's going on. But first of all, thanks for everybody tuning in here to my live stream. Guys, I'm working on trying to designate some time here to where I can do this on a regular schedule. So right now it's looking at Fridays at about 8 o'clock on Fridays. So I'm going to really work hard to try to stick to that schedule. My life gets extremely busy during the day because I work during the day and then I got to manage this in the evening and on the weekends. So I'm constantly on the go. But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Also, if there's anything as far as you guys can look me up here on my channel here, anything as far as live chat, you can leave comments. Also, I got myself here. I'm live here now on YouTube, and I'm live simultaneously here on Facebook, on my Facebook page as well. And it's all the same. So it's Tactical POV LLC. You can look me up. Check me out on Instagram. I'm trying to get back into posting some more content on Instagram. But I know tonight's subject, I'm not going to stay here on this thing long. It's this issue that's the red flag law issue. And everybody's hearing bits and pieces of it, and they're getting different opinions from different sources, okay, between media outlets. Let's face it, there are some that are just so biased and so anti-gun about this thing, and you get the same thing coming out of politicians too. I want to address this issue with the red flag laws because it really irks me. It irks me pretty bad because it's another one of those feel-good type legislations or feel-good laws that everybody's talking about that they want to pass or push or maybe implement, giving a false sense of security or something, saying that something needs to be done and want government to do something. You hear that constantly with people saying, government, do something. Okay, first of all, before I dig into this thing, about every single time when us as law-abiding citizens, we cry for the government to do something to fix a certain situation, when honestly it is really up to us, the law-abiding citizens, because we do have that here in this country. We have liberty, we have freedom, we have that opportunity to where we can manage ourselves and take care of certain things ourselves. When you're asking and begging for government to do something about a situation that we ourselves can handle, and I'm not talking about being a vigilante, the government only knows one thing. Okay, the more you cry about the government doing something, they only know one thing in order to suppress thought, suppress your feelings, make you feel better, or to basically get over a situation, or I'm trying to articulate here what I'm trying to say. It's basically, bottom line, the government knows one thing, and that's to infringe upon your freedom and infringe upon your constitutional rights. So as a law-abiding citizen, and as I talk about this to other friends of mine, I seriously stress the fact that people, you have got to stop begging the government to do something to take care of a certain situation, because honestly, this is really not the government's job. It really isn't. Okay, if you understand the Constitution and understand that these things that for a fact, and it's proven, we know you cannot legislate evil. You can't do it. No matter what law you pass, we've got over 20,000 laws on the federal and local level of gun control laws. If the government implemented those gun laws that we already have, we don't need more. Sorry about that. It's probably sitting. Sorry about that. The phone's going off, and I forgot to put the do not disturb on here. Let me shut that down real quick. But as I was saying, like I said, when you ask the government to do something, that's what they do. Their job. Listen, the government's job, and the only job they have, is to recognize, acknowledge, and uphold the Constitution. That is their job. That's it. Everything else is arbitrary. Okay? We can debate about this and that, but their job is to recognize, acknowledge, recognize that this is what we have written down. This is the best document that we have in order to maintain freedom and liberty of the American people, of our citizens. Acknowledge that fact that this is what it is and this is what it's about. The Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the whole nine, all of it. And then uphold it. That's their job. That's it. Now, red flag laws, why are they bad? Why are they bad? Well, they're bad for law-abiding citizens because they will always be subject to abuse. And if you're trying to get the government involved and have this thing implemented at a federal level, which is a total infringement upon the Second Amendment, complete infringement, total infringement, like probably the most egregious infringement out there with this deal. Basically saying that without due process, you are going to deny a law-abiding citizen or someone because of, how can I say, because you may be suspect to something with no proof, without due process to prove that you are innocent, that you do not have your rights restricted from you from possessing a firearm because it is your Second Amendment right. So you're telling the government that, hey, if I point out the fact or some say, well, because he said this or because he did that or he might have this, he might be into this or he might be doing something without proof, how can someone go in and have the law enforcement or anywhere have the government infringe upon that without proof? If you don't think it's subject to abuse, not just by a politician, here's a slippery slope that it creates. Say in domestic violence situations. Now, I'm not saying it's domestic violence, but it can turn into a domestic violence situation. But before it does, this is a slippery slope. If you have a disgruntled wife, disgruntled girlfriend, fiance, whatever, all right, say your man, you own guns, you have an argument with her. If she runs and because she's hell-bent on trying to get revenge on whatever that you may have done, whether it's justified or not, if she runs and says that he abused me or he did this without proof or he's making threats or anything else without proof, then that's now allowing the police to come in, seize his firearms, put him, detain him or whatever. That's a total infringement without proof. Okay, now reverse that and flip that the other way. A man can say the same thing. If a woman's not letting a man see his kids or anything else like that, and they have an issue also, he can flip it around on her and say the same thing. If a woman has a weapon, as far as her, it doesn't matter if she concealed carry, just a home weapon or anything, or just to defend herself and the family, he can flip it around and say the same thing. Okay? Now it's infringing upon her rights without proof. This thing is very, very bad. It's very arbitrary, and it creates a huge slippery slope to where it is allowing, or should say, us as citizens are allowing the government to come in and infringe upon our right. That is not, I personally don't ever want to see that power. I'm not giving my right up and giving power to the government to infringe upon my right, because it's just not what the Constitution is about. And I don't believe in red flag laws. But what I do believe in is if we want to curtail some of these shootings that go on, some of them, okay, the way I see that we curtail some of them, first of all, is education. Get yourself educated. First of all, get yourself educated on the Constitution so you understand what your rights are and what they're about and why the Constitution was written in the way that it was. Understand the reason why the Second Amendment is directly behind the First Amendment. Those two amendments are married to each other. If you understand the Bill of Rights and you understand the Constitution, you understand what I'm talking about. You cannot have the First Amendment without the Second Amendment being married to it. It just doesn't exist. You can't have the Second Amendment if you don't have the First Amendment. Vice versa. I think that's how I put it. I got a million things going through my head of everything I want to say and get out here and try to squeeze in this half hour and not just ramble. But that's what this thing is all about. So the red flag laws, no, I'm not a fan at all. I'm a huge fan and advocate for education. I'm a huge fan and advocate for responsibility, gun responsibility. That's what I am a huge advocate for. Okay, with this thing, because as you know, I teach. And I'm strictly always for the fact of getting educated on this subject and being educated on the simple fact of understanding a firearm, learning how to use your firearm and protect your right, protect your family. I am a huge advocate for that. I'm an even bigger advocate for women learning how to defend yourself. Ladies, you have to understand this. The red flag law for you is absolutely horrible. Absolutely. Understand this when I say this. You need your right to defend yourself. You cannot give up your right and rely on someone else. Rely on your husband or your boyfriend or anything. Don't even rely on the government. You know what comes with the government deal. It does not work like that. Okay? You need your rights. You need to preserve your right, because you honestly don't know at any given second in your life when you're going to need it. And this is the thing that also drives me nuts too, because politicians push and they preach this stuff, talking about red flag laws, and we need to do something about it. And then you got Democrats who want to turn around Republicans saying that they don't want to do anything about this and they want to perpetuate more shootings or anything, and they just don't want to take the responsibility for it. And you got some Republicans who's actually supporting this crap, and I'm getting to those, some of them that are completely, in my opinion, complete total sellouts on this completely, because they're either giving into their district because their voter base on that side. They've got some Democrat voters also. I don't even want to get started in that, because there's a couple of them I know over there in the district that I've been doing catching up on here too, finding out. It's the reason why they're kind of supporting this crap here. You know, with Dan Crenshaw, much respect to Dan Crenshaw for his service in the military. I will always give that man his respect. Always. I will never take that away from him. He deserves it. True, wholeheartedly deserves it. But Dan Crenshaw, I do not agree. Some of the things I do, a lot of things I do agree with him, but I don't agree with him the fact of him supporting this, because he should know better. He should know better. But I think he's buckling a little bit because of his base, his voter base, and where his district is and where he's at. It swings. It sways Republican and Democrat over there. So I kind of, in a way, I kind of get it. All right, I understand. He's trying to appease on both. He's trying to please both sides. Certain things like this, you can't please both sides. You got to take a stance on this. You have to be standing hard on it. If you believe it, you do. If you believe in the Second Amendment, you believe in it. If you don't, you don't. There's no buts and there's no gray areas to this thing. You either believe in it or you don't. That's just how it works with it. So, like I said, with women, you need this. You need the Great Equalizer. And the Great Equalizer is your right to defend yourself. I say this. I've been saying it for years and years and years. Women, educate yourself. And I'm really glad to see that more and more women are getting themselves educated on this thing and understanding that, hey, I need this right. I need this. You know, I have to learn how to protect myself and my family. Can't rely on somebody else to do that. Okay? My girlfriends I've always been strong in this. It's like, okay, you need to learn how to use this thing. You need to learn how to defend yourself. Don't rely on me to be there 24 hours a day. Okay? Just doesn't work that way. So I'm not sure who's checking in, who's there, let me see who's over here streaming over here. Grant, appreciate that. I need to I need to bring up my channel here, because I'm not paying attention to my channel. If you guys got any questions or something, you can leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments. And so I can see, I'm trying to pull up my comments now here, if it'll let me do it. There we go. Let me see if it's going to bring my thing up. just gonna bring my studio up here. I forgot to pull up my browser here. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Nope, it's not gonna let me do it that way. Go back. I do want to see this here, guys, so bear with me here. I didn't get a chance to put anything up here as far as description on this. We might change the title on this. I didn't get a chance to put anything up here as far as... Hold on a second. Sorry about this. Description on this. Let me change this. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Little fade there a little bit. I think I got it straightened around, but anyway, like I said, I'm not going to be on here long at all. It's just some things I just need to really get off my chest a little bit. It's been working my nerves, and it has been here for a while. And trying to slow down. I'm trying to get into more of my live feed stuff here, and address some issues I deal with. Also, guys, if you haven't checked out my my last video I just put up, make sure you run over and check that out. I think it's pretty cool because, as you know, if you keep up with anything, any technology is all for smartphones. You know, the new Note 10 came out, Note 10 Plus, Note 10 Plus 5G. Man, I'm telling you, that live focus video mode in the Note 10 Plus is absolutely awesome. I recorded just a quick review video with my AR. Just a couple accessories I put on it. I mean, I'm not done really going through it at all. I've got more mods I want to put on it. So, but these are just some of the mods I've had on for a long time. I just never really did a video about it. So, but the one video is called a BAD lever, a battery assist device lever. And I shot that, as you see in the video, and I put it up in the title, did it in live focus video mode. That's only on the Note 10 Plus. Man, that thing is, I personally think it's awesome. I think that's an awesome look. You know, I mean, almost a 3D effect, you know, with a blurred background. So I think I might be shooting some more videos like that. I believe. I'm pretty geeked about it. That's pretty cool. But anyway, I'm gonna keep doing these live chats, put them on a regular schedule, and so I can interact with you guys and engage with you guys a little bit more, because I know I haven't been doing them enough, and I've actually been wanting to pick up the pace on them a little bit, but it's just I'm trying to work on getting a schedule and trying to get some more material. So, and certain things along with certain politicians. You know what? Let me see. I'm gonna pop this up here real quick, and let me see if I can give you just a taste of this here, if I can here. See if it's gonna let me do it, because I'm still working on the software, man. So I apologize for so it might stall a little bit here, I'm thinking. Yes, I got to work on this thing here because I don't know why it does that.
29 people killed, 42 people injured or wounded. What was your reaction when you heard about the El Paso shooting and then you wake up and hear about Dayton?
First of all, the horror of it. Having been the mayor of a big city, you know the horrors of mass shootings and what it does. And so first and foremost, obviously, your thoughts and prayers are with all of the victims, the families who've lost people, the people who now have months, years of recovery. But you also know that thoughts and prayers are not enough. And I turn my attention to the person who is leading this country, who is in my opinion, in this moral moment, who is failing. And I think that at the end of the day, especially because this was a white supremacist manifesto, that I want to say with more moral clarity that Donald Trump is responsible for this. He's responsible because he is stoking fears and hatred and bigotry. He is responsible because he's failing to condemn white supremacy and see it as it is, which is responsible for such a significant amount of the terrorist attacks. He's responsible because he is president of the United States and has failed to do anything significant to stop the mass availability of weapons to people who intend to do harm. And lastly, he's responsible because leaders take responsibility. We are responsible for each other in this culture, in this society, and our president, in the highest moral position in the land, should be taking responsibility in this pain.
All right. Let me say something here, seriously, real quick. First of all, I honestly can't stand Cory Booker. I can't stand Cory Booker. That dude he is one of the biggest effing frauds I've seen walk. I mean, there's a ton of them over there. Every one of them, I can line them all up. Matter of fact, all 25 or 20 plus clowns, all of them, they're complete frauds, especially when it comes to this. We talk politics on other issues, other things they want to implement, complete frauds about it, okay? But my main thing that irks me the most here is really when it comes to this deal here. When it comes to the Second Amendment, this is the thing that just drives me nuts because, as I said before, and we all know, no matter how many gun laws you pass, there's 20,000 plus, over 20,000 at the federal and state level. Not one of those can still stop any type of mass shooting. It just won't. You can't legislate evil. You can't pass a law on evil. And the main reason why is because criminals don't care. Criminally insane people don't care. They don't care about a gun law. So it doesn't matter what you pass. They're still going to carry it out. If that's the intent that they have in their heart and mind, they're going to carry it out one way or another. It doesn't matter what you say, what you pass, what you do. So what's the key? What's the answer? One answer is to be prepared. You just got to be prepared. These things are going to happen. We have to face a reality that we don't want to see any more innocent lives lost due to the simple fact of someone who is insane or criminal or criminally insane. I don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. I'm not pushing for it. But we don't have any control over that. We don't have any control over someone else's heart and mind. We have zero control of that. But you have 100% control of your heart, your mind, and you being prepared. You have control of that. So you handle what you can control. You take care of what you can control. That is yourself. That means you take the classes, you get educated, you get this information, you learn how to defend yourself and your family because you can control that. You can't control someone else. Law, government, local law enforcement, they can't control someone else's mind. They can't control that. So in order for any of these gun laws to actually work, you got to care. And really only affects us law-abiding citizens, which just makes it harder for us. So that's how I feel about it. And I know I can do another segment on this because actually I have a video I need to post up here too. I just haven't had a chance to sit still and edit it for you guys. So, but it's about, if I remember right, I think I did it a couple weeks ago. I think I talked about the simple fact why gun laws don't work. I mean, the government can enforce the ones they have now, and it would help. It's not saying they totally work, but it would help. It would help curtail some of the violent crimes. Some of them. Not all of them. Some. A very small sum. Because you have to have people care about the law first in order for it to work. You got to have them care about gun control laws for them to work. Evil people don't care. Therefore, they don't work. Okay? So, that's the mindset. We have to change our mindset, people. We have to change our mindset about red flag laws. understand that it's just a BS feel-good law that is still not going to curtail and it's not going to stop. The deal when you want to bring up, and I know everybody brings up Parkland. I get it, okay? I get Parkland. I understand that. Did they know about this kid for 2 years, 2.5 years? Yeah. Okay. Was there laws in place there in Florida to where they could have intervened? I do believe Florida does have provisions to where they could have stepped in. Even when this kid's adopted family even stepped in and say, listen, you need to do something about this kid because of X, Y, and Z. Okay, they went to him numerous times about it. Now, could there have been a court order? Possibly so. Maybe they could have got a warrant. Maybe they could have got in and had more to bring up a case on this individual to where they could have had him, they could have intervened, had him psychologically evaluated. I do believe Florida has something like that. And I think a lot of other states do too, to where you show a pattern of something, then either local law enforcement or an attorney or somewhere along the line, even a doctor can step in and say, hey, look, this needs to be done. You need to take a good look at this and do something about this. Okay. But it's still due process. It's still due process. So I get it. They're trying to push red flag laws and saying that it has to be due process in order for someone to go in and seize someone else's firearm. I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. There's more to come out about this, I'm sure. The more to talk about it, but I'm just giving you my my opinion on it. And as I said, I am not a supporter of it. I'm not a supporter of it at all because I just know it's just too many bad players involved. There's too many bad players. There's too much backdoor issues about how politicians want to put something else like universal background checks. It's like, give me a break with the universal background checks. We already have background checks. We have very good background checks. The only thing they're trying to push is the fact that certain parts of the background checks that go into this are between if I remember right, it involves like a HIPAA law between a doctor and a patient. The reason why they can't open up records or medical records or anything like that to where because of that. Politicians want to go in and dig into that. Should we? It depends. That creates another slippery slope as well. You know, they could say if you take an antidepressant medication or something like that, that could put you on a list. They start a list out and say, okay, well, this person's on antidepressant medicine. Well, he's known to have, he's got guns. Well, we're going to have to go in and hold those guns because he's on this medication because we don't know. See, now, as I said, without due process, now someone can go in and violate your Second Amendment right, completely come in and confiscate your firearm without due process. Then you have to go to court and prove your innocence. In this country, you are innocent until proven guilty. That is what we were built on. That is how it works. But they try like hell to flip this thing around the other way. Now it's trying to flip it around. You're guilty. Now you got to go in and prove your innocence. That's communistic as hell. So if you don't agree, look up communism. Okay? Because that's how it works. So we're not that here. So that's what I'm saying. Trying to adopt this thought is not good. Us changing our mindset about how we live our lives and what we can do for ourselves and our family, that needs to be looked at seriously. People really got to understand how to change your mind and change your mindset on this thing. I can control me. I can't control the next person next to me. I can't control that person over there. I don't know that person from a hole in the ground. I don't know what they're about. But I do know myself, and I know what I'm about. I know what I can do. And the best I can do is make sure I'm prepared. In case something pops off, I'm prepared to defend myself and my family, and at least give us a fighting chance. But I don't want the government infringing upon my right to do so. Okay, I don't want the government stepping in trying to tell me that, well, yeah, we'll decide if you can defend yourself or not. You know, if we give up that power to say of our right of the Second Amendment, that's what it'll turn into. Because I guarantee you, no politician is telling their bodyguards or anything like that to give up their guns. You know that. You know, they got 24-hour security around them, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Guess what? Our tax dollars are paying for it. They're not going to give that up, but yet they want you to give yours up. I know about you, I can't afford 24-hour surveillance on me, or I should say 24-hour security on me, 24 hours. I can't afford that. Can you? If you can, hey, more power to you. Me? No. Most of us can't. So this is what we have to do. We got to do what we have to do to protect ourselves. Change your mindset, people. Change your mindset. It's up to you. I'm not begging the government to come in and do nothing and infringe upon my constitutional rights whatsoever. None of them. Okay? Especially the second one. So, I need that. And I'll forever fight for that. So, hey guys, that's it, man. I gotta wrap this thing up. Told you I didn't want to be on here too long. Got started a little bit late and trying to wrap up some other material on here. I'm trying to dig all this stuff and put it all together for you. But if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Also, guys, you can help me out too if you want to donate to my channel. You can look right in my channel art. You see, you can support my channel through PayPal, through a donation. You can become a Patreon member. Everything. Check out my merchandise too. Also, you can go to it's on Teespring and Spreadshirt. You can see different designs there. All of that stuff I'll put into the links in the description. Everything. I appreciate it so much, guys, and all my subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Seriously, I do, because when I started this thing, I just wanted to make videos. You know, I really didn't expect any of this. You know, I just want to make videos, and I just want to do them full time. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. I appreciate the feedback you give me too. Let me know here, you guys, if you're still watching me over here on Facebook on my page here. Please excuse my mess behind me. I mean, yeah, I know you see it. But trust me, all that stuff you see back there in my kitchen, man, all that stuff is clean. I just haven't put it away. Been busy. I've been busy. It's hard to slow down. I want to go all the time. So, but guys, I appreciate it. And make sure you look me up. Look me up on Instagram, as I said. And all the other spots where you can find me. I keep forgetting I got a Snapchat as well, and it's the same thing as Tactical POV. I think it's Tactical POV LLC. I believe it's the same on that too on my Snapchat. I haven't used it in a long time. It's hard spreading myself across all social media platforms out here and getting content. So I'm doing the best I can. But guys, bear with me. I appreciate it, man. Make sure you check me out. I got another videos. I got other ones coming up here. I'm trying to get them to you here more on a regular basis as always. But until then, guys, all I can say is, man, you know, all I can say really is just being armed is a mindset, not just a physical condition, guys. See you next time.